It's the opening weekend of Big Ten Conference hockey, and here in South Bend, we've got a pair of nationally ranked teams in number 5 Notre Dame hosting number 7 Ohio State. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Schlanger. Anson Carter is inside the glass. And as we take a look at this Compton Family Ice Arena that is hosting the second of a 2-game weekend series, Notre Dame trying to bounce back from a 1-0 loss to Ohio State last night. Anson Carter, what do you think is going to be the difference in this game this evening?
Well, I think it's important for Notre Dame to play in straight lines. Last night, the Buckeyes were tremendous defensively, keeping the Irish to the outside. You know, Coach Rawlach to talk about playing connected hockey. That's all 5 guys playing defensive hockey in all 3 zones. If the Irishmen get on the board, they need to drive and get inside that defense of the Buckeyes and get shots on net.
These were the top 2 teams in the Big Ten last year. Notre Dame winning both the regular season crown and the conference tournament title. Ohio State was right behind them in both categories. And then each team went on to advance to the Frozen Four at the end of last season. So expectations high once again as this new campaign gets underway. Tommy Napier is the starting goaltender for the Buckeyes tonight. The sophomore from St. Louis made the Big Ten all-freshman squad a year ago and unbeaten so far this year with a record of 2-0-1. At the other end, Cale Morris, the junior from Colorado, took the loss last night in the nets for Notre Dame, made 22 saves in the 1-0 defeat. So far this season, a record of 2-3-1 for the Mike Richter Award winner. He was the top goaltender in the nation last year and led the NCAA in wins with 23. Ohio State in the familiar scarlet and gray, Notre Dame the white. And away we go on a Saturday night on the campus of Notre Dame here in South Bend, Indiana. Last year, Notre Dame won 4 of 5 meetings between these 2 teams, but 3 of those were 1-goal games, just like we saw last night. And judging by the way these 2 teams played on Friday night here at the Compton Family Ice Arena, could be in for another tight affair this evening. And an early whistle, and we're going to get an interference call, our first penalty, just a few seconds in. Is Steve Rawlach, the 6th-year head coach for Ohio State, now approaching his 100th win for his collegiate coaching career. And it is going to be Notre Dame going on the power play here.
Massive hit there by Sasha Larocque, stepping up in the neutral zone. You're seeing Jack Jenkins throw the puck in and trying to go, but you have to let your man go wide. You can't impede his speed going into the defensive zone. Sasha Larocque gets called for a penalty. And early in this hockey game, this is a big-time power play for the Irish, trying to create some momentum early in this first period.
Notre Dame was 0 for 1 on the power play last night. Last year, Ohio State had the best penalty kill in the nation, but struggling so far this year, only 75% through the first month. There is Bobby Nardella, leading point scorer on the team. Swings it back to the point for Peak. They'll work the perimeter as they look to set something up. Dylan Malmquist a shot high off the glass. Peak will hold it in, sweeps it across for Nardella. Back for Peak. Now Nardella looking for a seam in front. Backhand shot at the side of the cage. Puck loose, and it's Matt Miller who tries to gain control for the Buckeyes. And now Ohio State will skate it out of their own end and just shoot it down the ice with some fresh penalty-killing legs coming on for the Buckeyes.
A little better effort there by the Irish, getting the pucks in the interior of that Buckeyes box. That's exactly where you want to be. Either get that quick short pass in there, or when the puck gets back to the point, I want to see some more traffic going in front of the net.
There's Austin Pooley sliding it down the length of the rink, and the Irish will have to regroup once again as a new power play unit comes on for Notre Dame. Under a minute now left to go in the 5-on-4. Here's Matt Hellickson at center. Colin Tyson shoots it in, sticked away by Napier. And a whistle here. It's going to be offsides on the Irish.
Let's go back and take a look at this Irish power play. Cal Berg gets the puck right in the grade A scoring opportunity. That's exactly where you want to be, in that triangle. If you connect the dots between the 2 face-off circles and drew lines back down to the crease, that's grade A scoring opportunities right there. And Cal Berg gets that puck in tight. But there has to be traffic in front. Joe Wegworth goes for a little bit of skate. You want to get there, big fella, but you need to stay there. You need to pay the price, take the goalie's eyes away, and make it tough for him to find those pucks coming through traffic.
Half a minute left to go, and the Notre Dame power play. 2 minutes gone by, and a scoreless first period here in South Bend. Notre Dame looking to gain control down deep, but it's Ryan O'Connell who grabs it for Ohio State, and he fires it down the rink.
It's good support right there for the Buckeyes. Ryan O'Connell was a nice little safety valve there. He's able to get that puck with plenty of time to fire it down the ice.
Not many quality chances in this power play for Notre Dame. That's down to its final seconds. Dakota Joshua scoops it down the ice, the draft choice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we're back to even strength. Tori Dello back on the puck for Notre Dame. Up to Cam Morrison, pass intercepted by the Buckeyes out at center. Now Matt Miller for Ronnie Hine. He just taps it in, and it's Hellickson first to it for the Irish. He's going to take a big hit behind his own net by Colin Peters. Head coach Steve Rawlick of Ohio State told us just before the game that he expects more intensity, a much bigger physical battle between these teams than what we saw last night.
Well, he knows they're coming off of a sweep, the Irish are, and they lost last night's game too, so he's fully prepared to make sure his team was to get ready emotionally to face this Irish team to start this game.
Hoping his Buckeyes can match the Irish intensity, but the Irish coming up empty on an early power play, and now things just settling in here at 5-on-5 hockey. Notre Dame looking to break out now, led by Malmquist, gathering speed at center, tries to play it ahead, a little too far for Cal Burke, the leading goal scorer for Notre Dame. Puck wrapped around the wall, will be held in by Burke. Now for Joe Wegworth in the corner. Wegworth tries to hold up. Peek the long shot from the point, off the inboards. Curls around to the near side. John Wiedela nowhere to go. He's going to tap it in. And another line change for Ohio State. 4 minutes deep, opening period. Cal Burke takes a big hit at center. That creates a chance for Carson Meyer. Tries to go around his man. He gets knocked down. That's big Joe Wegworth, who ushers him into the glass and puts him into the ditch. Wegworth throwing his body around. Good physical play to take out Carson Meyer. Ohio State has to backpedal into their own end.
Go, right here!
Pass deflected, no icing on the play as Morris stops it behind his own net. Now here's Bobby Nardella. Jack Jenkins bursting to center for Tyson. Pass deflected off a skate. Dello first to it for the Irish in the corner. Tori Dello pulling up, going around Freddie Girard. He'll drop it down for Jenkins, and now here's Cam Morrison. Lost the handle. And Ohio State chips it to center. Notre Dame quickly back into the zone with Tyson. Last year's Rookie of the Year for the Irish. His shot gloved but dropped by Napier, and the Buckeyes clear it back to center. Now working their way in. Here comes Brendan Kearney. Backhand shot on goal. Kearney gets another crack at it, but it's sticked away at the last second. Wyatt Agee wraps it around. Down low. Miguel Fiedler back to the point. Agee again. Wrist shot off the end boards. Kearney absorbs the contact from Burke. Now three players jamming at the puck. The Irish come away with it. And now Cam Morrison off the glass and out to center.
That's where the Buckeyes really want to work this young Irish team. Get pucks in deep and really force turnovers and have them turn the puck over.
So, just over 5 minutes gone by here in this first period. The Buckeyes starting to set the physical tone early, but still scoreless here at the Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend. College hockey on NBCSN is brought to you by U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Well, as we come back, Ohio State is on the power play. A too many men on the ice call against the Irish.
And you can see right there, whenever the puck comes up the wall on your bench side, you have to be very careful not to be premature about jumping on the ice. The Irish weren't, and as a result, they have to kill a penalty.
Ohio State 1 for 3 with the man advantage last night. That goal was the game's only goal, scored by Mason Jobst. He's out there now and racing for the puck in the corner against the Andrew Peak of the Irish. Battle for it, and Dakota Joshua gets to it first. Back to the point for Ege. Now Jobst feeds it down low. Comes off the stick of Cale Morris, but kept in by Ege out high. Jobst a one-timer. Gustav Westland for Ege, and he can't control the puck, and Ohio State will have to backtrack to center.
And you see the Buckeyes really try to move the puck around the top of the umbrella and try to take advantage of Dakota Joshua with that big body in front of the net.
Intercepted by Hellickson. Now Jobst gets it back. Carson Meyer walks it in. Shot blocked in front. That was Graham Slaggert, the freshman. Now Ege sets it up once again. Jobst with some room, stick handling through. Backhands, never made it in on goal, but Ege controls once again at the point. Under a minute to go in the power play. Ohio State pushing Notre Dame down deeper. Now Carson Meyer, tied for the team lead in goals and points. Drops it off. Ege for Jobst. Morris making the save off of Westland. Now Graham Slaggert trying to clear, and it's tipped out to center by Notre Dame.
Good control there by the Buckeyes. Nice perimeter action, getting shots on net. I still like to see the point men, either Ege getting the puck on net or Myers getting the puck on net. Just a little soft little wrist here. You got that big body, Dakota Joshua in front. He makes it very difficult for Cale Morris to find pucks.
Final seconds of the 5-on-4. Here's Bobby Nardella for Notre Dame, breaking up the play. Matt Miller for Ohio State, drops it down low. Now comes in front, in the slot, a shot, and it's blocked just in front of Morris. It was Ronnie Hine who got his stick on that one for the Buckeyes. And now here's Freddie Girard trying to backhand in front. Gets it behind the net instead as we're back to even strength. The power play has expired. Each team 0 for 1 with the man advantage so far. And finally, it's Nardella controlling for the Irish, and he guns it around the boards and finally out to center.
It's a nice shift there by the Buckeyes. They didn't score on that power play. However, the following shift, they followed up with a good effort and got a nice scoring opportunity.
Cale Morris off the wall. Brendan Kearney stops it there for Ohio State. Finds Fiddler. Works it in front. Morris made the stop, and he covers for a whistle with 11.5 left to go in the first.
Special teams will be crucial for both of these teams because they're so stingy defensively. You see Cale Morris making a nice right pads save, and as the puck goes across the front of the slot there, you're seeing the Irish really collapse down and give their goaltenders some help in the defensive zone.
And the face-off deep in the Notre Dame end. Off the draw, here's Pierce Crawford. He lofts it out to center. Sasha Larocque back for it. Second team All-Big Ten a year ago for Ohio State. Pass deflected, no icing as Morris stops it. Now Spencer Stastny gives it away for the Irish. Looks to get it back. Battles Kearney along the wall. Now here Tommy Perrin for Ohio State. Rink wide pass. Dakota Joshua slings it in. Kearney first to it. But the pass misses O'Connell, and it's back to center. Ryan O'Connell, the draft choice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, one of 2 Toronto draft choices on this Ohio State team this year. Here's Preston, leaving it for Joshua. Tries to feed in front. Stastny intercepts, and here comes Notre Dame. Cam Morrison off the far wall. Looking for Jake Pavanka. Pavanka spinning. Has his stick lifted from behind by Dakota Joshua. Now it's Pavanka and Morrison working over. Joshua behind the goal. It's Ege who comes away, and then Preston the pass out of the zone. Colin Tyson gets to it for Notre Dame and backhands back in. Morris taken to the wall. Stays with it, but his pass misses Peak and slides all the way back down into the Notre Dame end.
You're really going to need to have a lot of quick and close puck supporting for the Irish because the Buckeyes defend so well, 5-man units. You see 5 guys in the picture at all times when they're playing their best hockey.
Here's Carson Meyer, tied for the team lead in goals and points. But it's Tyson first to it for Notre Dame. Now here's Dello. Meyer back at center. Columbus native, one of 7 Ohio natives on this Ohio State team. Now Matt Miller into the corner, and Malmquist picks it up for the Irish. Dello has a pass intercepted. Trying to set up a 2-on-1. Here comes Ohio State. Freddie Girard spinning, and his pass misses its intended target on the far side, Miller. And now Notre Dame a chance. 3-on-3 the other way. As they gain the zone, Cal Burke, his shot is blocked by Miller. Now Ronnie Hine loses to Cal Burke. Now Malmquist taken out of the play and poked away by Napier in goal. Nardella once again at the blue line spinning. Nardella feeds in front. And the Buckeyes break into center. Here's Ronnie Hine. Slips by Nardella. Hine from an angle. In front. Shot saved by Morris. Terrific save by Cale Morris. And now the Irish coming back the other way. Slager tries to feed in front. Looking for Klurman. Gordy Meyer plays it over for Westland. And he just slides it softly down the ice as some fresh legs come on for the Buckeyes. Over the midpoint of this opening period, still no score. 8:20 left to go here in this first frame in South Bend. Sasha Larocque skates it to center. And Ohio State is offsides. Now as the physical play continues from the Buckeyes here on the road. Also trying to generate some offense, but Cale Morris strong in goal for the Irish, and it's still scoreless here at Notre Dame. Just over 8 minutes left to go, first period. Ohio State out shooting Notre Dame 8-4, and some quality chances here, Anson.
There was, and Ronnie Hine showing good speed coming down the wall. Bobby Nardella gambles, tries to take him out, he doesn't. And look who's coming from the back end there. There's Gordy Meyer. He's always dangerous jumping up from the back end. He's a tremendous skater for the Buckeyes, undersized defenseman. You got to keep your head in a swivel at all times if the Irish watching him jumping up into the play.
Ohio State back in their own end with Sasha Larocque. Tries to go cross ice for Carson Meyer. His pass deflected. Now Pierce Crawford backhands but not out. Kept in by Brendan Kearney, who takes a hit from Crawford. Peak first to it for the Irish. Whacks it around the boards, and now Matt Steeves avoids the check as he sends it cross ice. Now it was an uneven first month of the season for both of these teams, each ranked as high as #1 in the country at one point. But before last night, Ohio State had only won 1 of 4 games coming into this series, while Notre Dame now has lost 3 in a row after a hot start.
Coach Rawlik wasn't very happy in our call this week with them about the way his team was playing. I think he felt a little bit better about their game after last night's game. You know, he talks a lot about being connected and playing those 5-man units. You're going to hear that a lot during the broadcast with us, but that's a big part of the way the Buckeyes play.
Yeah, Anson, special teams, defense, and discipline have been the big liabilities so far this season for Ohio State, and all 3 of those areas were really cleaned up by the Buckeyes last night.
And both teams are kind of dealing with expectations, too. They're really dealing with expectations, coming in highly ranked, highly rated, and Coach Jackson told us as well, you know, there's a new group this year. They graduated some top seniors in Gross and Evans, so that the next class of juniors coming up have to take that lead and manage those expectations.
Jeff Jackson in his 14th season as the Notre Dame head coach. A win tonight. It'll be an even 300 here in South Bend. But he may be getting a little antsy. He's been sitting on 299 for a couple of weeks now.
He has. I'm sure he's going to tell the guys, okay, let's get over with this now, guys. Get me the 300 wins so we can move on so we can stop talking about it.
Notre Dame losing 3 in a row coming in and having only scored 3 goals over those last 3 games as well.
This has been a tough stretch for them. They had Duluth, #1 team in the country now. They go to Ohio State, who I thought could be the best team in the Big Ten. And then next week they've got University of Michigan, who's a top quality team, also in the Big Ten.
Now Notre Dame lost their top 3 scorers from a year ago, so always tricky trying to replace that much offense 1 year later.
Not just top 3 of the team, like these are some of the top scorers in the country. Jake Evans, one of the best 2-way forwards in the country, and also Jordan Gross, same exact thing. He ignited a lot of the offense. You saw Bobby Nardell this year so far trying to step into those shoes and try to be that offensive catalyst from the back end.
Carson Meyer has shot right off the draw. Aggie will hold it in, but only momentarily. And now Freddie Gerard back for it for Ohio State. This the third of a 5-game road trip for the Buckeyes. Well, the Irish are wrapping up a 4-game homestand here tonight. As Mason Jobst, with speed, goes around Wegworth. Shot from an angle, hit the skate of Nardella. Jobst back for Ryan O'Connell. Off another skate, that time Torrey Dello. Now Notre Dame takes it away. Nardella out to center with it. Bobby Nardella, long shot. Napier couldn't glove it. Gives up the rebound. Now Michael Graham, the freshman for the Irish. And some miscommunication, and Clerman will have to chase back into his own end. Clerman off the wall, trying to catch Ohio State in a line change. Shot from an angle. Now Sliger drops it for Graham. Pavanka trying to support for Notre Dame. 4 players. A little conference behind the goal, and the Buckeyes come away with it and out to center. Here's Matt Miller. Shot partially blocked that time by Spencer Stasny. Bouncing puck in front. Now Gustav Westland back for the one-timer from Gordy Meyer, but kind of fanned on it and broke his stick. Now Graham Sliger lifts it into the Ohio State end, and a line change for Notre Dame. With 5 minutes left to go here, opening period. Still looking for our first goal of the contest. And Ohio State a chance in front for Fiddler, a shot, then Morris makes the stop. That play developed in a hurry, and Ohio State holds the zone. Long wrist shot off the end boards. Now Kearney in the corner for the Buckeyes. Back for LaRock. They'll swing it across. Rister never made it through on goal, and Pierce Crawford finally shovels it out of the zone. Tommy Perrin tries to fire it back in. Instead, they'll set things up. Wrist shot knocked down off the stick of Kearney. Now Miguel Fiddler in the corner. He'll take the hit from Cam Burke, the freshman and younger brother of Cal Burke, who's making his Notre Dame debut here tonight. Notre Dame with 2 sets of brothers on the roster this year. Matt and Alex Steves, and Cal and Cam Burke. Here's Torrey Dello retreating to his own end with 4 minutes remaining. Opening stanza. Ohio State has outshot Notre Dame by a better than 2-1 margin. Here's Cam Morrison, takes the hit. Now Jack Jenkins trying to chase the puck down. And Ohio State once again not giving Notre Dame any quality opportunities to generate offense, much the same way they smothered them last night. Nardella intercepts that pass at center. Now Colin Tyson with the break. Drops it back to Nardella. Skates around his man. Tyson with the bouncing puck in front. Gathered up by Nardella. As a defenseman, he is nonetheless all over the ice. Comes in front, Napier gloves it, and a whistle stops play with 3:18 left to go. Still no score, opening period here in South Bend. Wednesday Night Hockey is back with a star-studded doubleheader. First at 7:30 Eastern, Sidney Crosby leads the Penguins to D.C. to take on Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals. Then at 10, the Predators head to Colorado to face the Avalanche. It's Wednesday Night Hockey only on NBCSN. Saturday Night Hockey in the shadow of the Golden Dome here at Notre Dame. Second of a 2-game weekend series. Ohio State won last night. No score so far first period tonight as we close in on the final 3 minutes of our opening frame. Notre Dame shut out last night. And also shut out so far in this first period here tonight. How about Malmquist? Only 2 for 15 in faceoffs for the Irish so far.
Faceoffs are so crucial. I know when you want to talk about puck possession and puck control. If you're losing faceoffs all the time, Steve, you end up chasing the game. All the best teams in college hockey, professional hockey, they've got dominance down the middle. And that starts in the one-on-one battle in the faceoff. That really sets a tone for the rest of the shift.
Dylan Malmquist has been one of the most prolific Irish scorers against Ohio State for his career. Senior from Edina, Minnesota, as the puck goes out of play.
He made that unusual jump from high school hockey in Minnesota, Edina, to college hockey at Notre Dame, not spending any time in the USHL. And that's a big jump for asking a hockey player to make. The Irish had to bring him in a little bit earlier when Vinny Hinostroza turned pro in the Chicago Blackhawks unexpectedly and left a hole down the middle.
He is Edina High School's all-time leading scorer as well, and he's had some big goals for Notre Dame over the years as well. He had the goal that sent him to the Frozen Four last year, as a matter of fact.
He's got tremendous hands, high hockey IQ, and he's getting stronger. He's gotten stronger this whole time here, putting a lot of work off the ice in the weight room.
2.5 left to go here in the first period. Here's Carson Meyer, draft choice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, loses control. And now Jake Pavanka leading the 2-on-2 for Notre Dame, trying to get something started. Shot in the pad, saved by Napier. Graham Slager trying to get to it ahead of Wyatt Agee. Pavanka supports. Now Slager. Back for Steves. Shot hit a stick. That was Meyer. Came in front and swept away by Jobst. Slager, though, the freshman, for Pavanka. Comes to the side of the cage. Trying to feed in front for the Irish. And now here is Hellickson circling back. Andrew Peak. And a high sticking call.
I like the way Notre Dame comes to neutral zone with a lot of speed. See Jake Pavanka, the freshman, with the shot on net, not wasting any time, not dusting it off, using the defenseman as a screen. You could see right there, Gordy Meyer has a stick out. He's trying to get a stick in the way to deflect that puck. Jake Pavanka pulls it in, changes the angle up a little bit, and gets a really good shot on net.
So after the puck was hit with a high stick, face-off came outside the zone. And now Colin Peters. A transfer from Northern Michigan, backhands on goal, and Morris Gloves with 1:37 on the clock.
Simple play there by Colin Peters. Just get the puck on net. He's been extremely physical this period, getting his feet moving, throwing the body, being physical. He's really making sure this Irish young defensemen are on their toes, because when he's on the prowl on the forecheck, he makes it very difficult for you to make plays under duress, because he wants to move that puck even before you're comfortable doing it.
The Buckeyes out shooting Notre Dame throughout this first period. They do throw a lot of pucks on net, averaging 34 per game. They've only been outshot once so far this season overall.
They certainly work hard. Coach Rawlik expects his team, demands his team to work, and that's part of the reason why he was so disappointed when we talked to him this past week, is he didn't think the effort level was up to just the quality that we expect from the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Hellickson off the glass, out to center. Matt Miller back for it. His older brother plays for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 5 draft picks from NHL teams on this Ohio State team this year, as the Buckeyes hold it in here. Meyer down low for Gustav Westland. Westland trying to work it back to the point for Meyer with 1 minute left to go in the period. Here comes Notre Dame working it in. A shot right on Napier, juggled it and held on to make the stop off the stick of Jack Jenkins for the Irish.
Go back and take a look at that shot attempt there from Jack Jenkins. But if you went back a little bit further and you saw Gordy Meyer at the blue line, it's a little bit high risk, high reward. He's very offensive. He's not afraid to take chances because he's got the ability to get back. But sometimes, just sometimes, he's a little bit too high risk. And I'm sure he gives Coach Rawlik a heart attack sometimes on the bench because he pinched the not at the opportune times, and at least a scoring chance like that by Jack Jenkins going the other way.
Yeah, that'll make a coach sweat.
Just a little bit.
Nardella fires it in. Larock backhands but gives it away to Morrison, and Napier makes the stop. Well, Ohio State so far unbeaten on the road this season with a record of 3-0-1. And Anson, this is a team that's been tremendous on the road the last couple of seasons as well.
It is, and their whole team philosophy is predicated on team defense. It's easy to defend on the road because you approach and you take that bunker mentality. And when Ohio State comes to your building, they're trying to throw that first punch, and they want to make sure they match your intensity, and they've certainly proved that so far.
Half a minute to go in the period. Irish have to clear the zone. Sasha Larock loses it to Cal Burke. Now here's Dello. Winds up, guns it down the ice and off the glass. Final 15. As the puck is out of play, one row deep here at the Compton Arena. Now, Lance, so far, your assessment of the first period here in the second of this two-game series.
It's a solid game by both teams. A lot more physical than last night's game, but you tend to expect that in the second game of a back-to-back series where a little bit of bad blood might work itself up after the previous game. I think Notre Dame's done a better job getting pucks to the net, trying to get traffic to the net. And I think Ohio State, as this game gets going, you're going to see their forecheck come more to the forefront, getting pucks in deep, trying to wear down this young Irish defensive core, which is keeping it simple, throwing pucks to the net. But you got to give Cale Morris a lot of credit. He stopped a couple of grade A opportunities when, if he lets those goals in, it really affect team morale on the bench in front of him.
Here's Ryan O'Connell. Backhands along in front of his own bench. Intercepted by the Irish. Here's Cal Burke with time winding down. Napier deflects it aside. And that'll take us to the horn. First period in the rear view here in South Bend. Ohio State out shooting Notre Dame 13-12, but still looking for our first goal. And coming up in our intermission report, Anson will interview head coach Steve Rawlick of Ohio State. We'll have a profile of the Irish's Dylan Malmquist and highlights, stats, and analysis from our first 20 here at Notre Dame. So that's all coming up between periods. As we head towards the second, Ohio State and Notre Dame in the first weekend of Big Ten college hockey this season. Still no score here in South Bend. Well, football is also part of the DNA of both of these schools here tonight in South Bend. Ohio State on the gridiron today, a winner over Nebraska 36-31. While the Fighting Irish football team currently playing about 2 hours west of here in Evanston, Illinois, tied at 7 with Northwestern as they approach halftime. And our score in the hockey game here at the Compton Family Ice Arena, number 7 against number 5. Still looking for our first goal as we send it down to Anson Carter inside the glass with our Subway Choice Moments.
Thanks, Steve. Last night's game against the Buckeyes, the Irish were shut out 1-0. One of the big reasons why is their inability to get inside the defensive zone. They were kept to the outside because the Buckeyes played tremendous connected hockey and just kept forcing things towards the outside. Take a look right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Irish players, but they're all on the outside of the ice. If you drew a straight line from both the dots down towards the red line, you'll see that's a grade A scoring opportunity area. There was no Irish there in that area. But here's what they did a lot better. You're seeing Steves drives in the middle of the ice, and he gets a pass from the corner, and he gets a scoring attempt. He doesn't get it on net. However, it was a lot better than staying to the outside. In tonight's game, they did a little better job getting pucks and traffic to the net in the second period. If they want to break that shutout streak, they have to continue doing so in the second period.
Now, Cale Morris doing his part in goal, allowed only one tally for Ohio State last night, stopping 22 shots. And now the Irish trying to generate some offense. Earlier this season, they were on a roll. They led the nation in goals per game, had scored in 11 of 12 periods, but now they've only scored in 3 of their last 10 periods. So hitting a dry spell at just the wrong time. They're in this stretch where they're spending 3 consecutive weekends playing against Frozen Four teams from last season. Last week it was Minnesota Duluth, Ohio State this weekend, and then on the road at Michigan next weekend.
Well, goal scoring comes and goes, Steve. You just never know when the goals are going to drive for you. The one staple of both of these programs is team defense. Now, when they're playing well, they're playing a stifling brand of team defense, not giving up many grade A scoring opportunities, tremendous in the forecheck, and then reloading back from the back check.
Here's Jenkins firing it in for the Irish as this second period commences. Now Mason Yops leading the 3-on-2 through center. Yops for Freddie Girard from the tough angle, and a pad save made by Morris. Yeah, Morrison slips around his man. Larock, oh, he was looking for Colin Tyson, but the pass never made it through, and then Morrison paid the price behind the goal. LaRock backhands out to center. Now a 3-on-1 for Ohio State. Comes to Yop's band on the shot. Mason Yops didn't get a clean shot away on a 3-on-1 for the Buckeyes. One of the best chances of the game so far. Now Miller with real estate at center. Ahead to Preston, off his stick and back out to the neutral zone. Ohio State with that 1-0 win last night. It was the 900th victory for the Buckeyes as a varsity program. So really hitting a milestone here on the road in South Bend. And looking for the 2-game series sweep here tonight as Wigworth gets to the puck for the Irish, but loses the handle. Comes to Preston. His shot. Morris the stop on the rebound. It's shot wide. Now Meyer back out high. Pass off the inboards. Wigworth chops it out to center. Cal Burke with a full head of steam. Working his way in. The shot. Napier makes the save, and the net comes off the magnets as Napier goes sliding towards the inboards.
Little end-to-end action there. You're seeing the Buckeyes get a really good scoring chance there. John Whittla goes hard to the cage. Also, Quinn Preston tries to get that shot off. It goes a little bit wide, but Cal Burke gets going back the other way. Gordy Myers fights him off. See Napier fighting both the players off and keeping the puck, the opposition, and his own teammate, Gordy Meyer, out of the net.
Well, head coach Jeff Jackson told us that he thought his team played nervous against Minnesota Duluth last week. We had a phone conversation with him earlier this week, and he felt they just weren't playing their style of game, confident, pressuring the puck, relentless, fundamentally sound. But then he said his team responded with their best practice of the season on Tuesday. What have you seen from them tonight so far, Anson, that leads you to believe they may be ready to turn the corner?
I've seen a lot better puck support, especially coming through the defensive zone. Watching last night's game here in South Bend, I thought they're a little bit too impatient blowing the zone, especially through the middle, the center iceman. When you go through the middle of the ice way too fast, your defenseman runs out of options, and he ends up just throwing the puck up the wall, up your winger's rear end, and you can't make a play, and you can't attack. I think tonight's game, they made a nice adjustment. The center's a lot more patient, and that allows them to come up with a lot more speed.
Now they just need some goals to validate the hard work. But it's the Buckeyes at center with Gustav Westland, a native of Sweden, but it is offsides on Ohio State. Well, Notre Dame got off to that interesting start with the 6-6 overtime tie against Mercyhurst, and then won 3 in a row before dropping the last 3 that they have played, including that sweep at the hands of Minnesota Duluth last weekend. When they were swept by the Bulldogs, that was the first time that Notre Dame had been swept on their home ice here at the Compton Family Ice Arena in 2.5 years.
The defending national champions, Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, probably the best college team I've seen so far this season. Granted, it's still early, but Coach Sandlin has their guys flying, and a lot of those players are on a mission. They want to come back and try to repeat that hasn't been done for a while.
Notre Dame was looking for redemption in that series, did not find it. How difficult is it to bounce back after something like that for this Notre Dame team, especially with so many young players?
Well, just sitting on it all week, it gets to you. But I think Coach Jackson understands he's a young team, so he's not going to be as hard as he would be on them if they're an older veteran squad. But, you know, the same token, you can't have your team be complacent and accept losing also. So there's a lot of teachable moments, which I'm sure Coach Pooley, Coach Jackson, Coach Slager will be able to go over on tape and show his team and try to execute a little bit better.
Ryan O'Connell slashing his way through center, but once again, offsides on the Buckeyes. Well, this Ohio State team lost 6 seniors from last year's squad that went to the Frozen Four, but they still have 8 on this year's team to go along with 8 juniors. They have the most upperclassmen in NCAA hockey, and that's something you don't often see with so many good players leaving early, but a lot have stuck around in Columbus for this Buckeye program.
That's true. I mean, they lost Matty Ice, who was a tremendous offensive player. Matty Weiss, excuse me, a tremendous offensive player for them, but getting Carson Meyer from Miami, Ohio has been really good. So he's been able to sort of pick up the slack for them and try to help them the offensive zone. You've seen that last offensive chance there by the Buckeyes. Just on cue, Carson Meyer going hard to the net. Doesn't score there, but he's not afraid to go with that blue paint and play that gritty game. The Columbus Blue Jackets draft pick has added a lot of tenacity to this forward group up front for the Buckeyes.
3 minutes gone by here in the second period. And Malmquist is going to get tossed out of the face-off circle. Kalberg steps in. Meyer off the draw. The shot is wide.
Didn't miss by much. That was right on my sight line, and I thought that was going in the far top corner. Great release by Carson Meyer.
Sasha Larocque shovels it back in for the Buckeyes. Nardella up the wall. Larocque cannot hold his own. Sasha Larocque, one of those 8 seniors on this team. Now here's Jobst, another senior. Gets control, shoots and scores! Mason Jobst, his second goal in as many games here in South Bend. And it's the Buckeyes who strike first here at Notre Dame.
You can't afford to give the senior sniper any sort of room in the offensive zone. He's the most dangerous man on the ice, one of the top offensive players in the country. Mason Jobst doesn't need much room to operate. Look at him right there in the tight area, staying hard on that puck. And that's a tough shot right there, Steve. Getting that puck elevated, in tight, in traffic. That means you got to keep your head up, because guys are looking to take your head off in that area there. But he's able to have tremendous concentration and elevate that puck quickly over Cale Morris's glove hand for a 1-0 lead for the Buckeyes.
Mason Jobst leads all active players in college hockey in career points.
Look at him. Sticks ready, getting ready to shoot the puck. Nice little bounce back to his stick, but that's concentration right there. Not getting off his game, little toe drag around Bobby Nardella's stick, and he roofs it past Cale Morris for an awesome goal.
Second team All-American from last year. Has points in all but 1 game so far this season. A senior from Speedway, Indiana, which is just about a mile away from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which of course means that his driveway is probably the best parking spot in the state come Memorial Day weekend.
I've been to the Indy 500 a couple times, and it's quite the experience. And even just recently, the Talladega 500. I've become a huge NASCAR fan on NBC Sports.
Shot comes through, turned aside by the Irish, who then start up through center. Alexson bumped off the puck. And now the Buckeyes, led by Gordy Meyer, from in front of his own bench. Got the motor running, comes in on goal, and it's Morris who makes the stop. Puck comes loose into the corner. And now the Irish, the rush out to center. Slager sidesteps Eggy. Left for Steves. Matt Steves back for Graham Slager. Freshman falling down, backhands to the side of the net for Pavanka. And now Colin Peters playing it out to the blue line. And Ronnie Hine circles back. Hine battling injuries so far this year. Was questionable for this series here in South Bend this weekend. Actually left the ice for a while and headed back to the locker room during last night's game with an upper body injury, but did return.
Yeah, we were shocked when we were watching that. I was surprised he came back. It looked like a shoulder of that face-off yesterday. He was holding his arm. He was trying to be real protective of it, but he came back on the ice. He was, showed a lot of grit returning to the hockey game.
Kept in by Eggy. He's got some daylight. Eggy is shot and a save by Cale Morris. So the first goal coming here in the second period, and who else? The senior Mason Jobst had the only goal last night, and so far the only goal here tonight, as the Buckeyes lead the Irish 1-0.
Let's go back and take a look at Gordy Meyer, the defenseman from the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's such an effortless skater. He's an offensive presence whenever he's on the ice. He's given the green light to go coast to coast whenever. But look at this move he makes right here at Andrew Peak. He takes the puck wide, he shows shot, he freezes the defenseman, and he's able to dip inside. Here it is again. Look, you think he's going to shoot? Nope. Coming back inside, drives the puck hard to the net, shows a lot of courage. He isn't able to put that in the back of the net, but I'm sure it's in the back of the Irish's mind. Keep your head in a swivel, keep your head up whenever Gordy Meyer is on the ice.
Junior from Toledo, Ohio. As the Irish win the draw here, Nardella whacks it off the glass. Dello lifts it along the boards and down the ice. Irish intercept with Cam Burke, the freshman. Well, then promptly lose it right back to the Buckeyes and Miguel Fiddler, the draft choice of the Florida Panthers, who was a scratch last night, but out there for the Buckeyes here tonight. Gil Morris ventures out of his net to play that one, but it's right to Brendan Kearney. And now Matt Miller for the one-timer, blocked in front by Michael Graham. And now the Irish trying to set up a 2-on-1. Here's Crawford the shot, and it'll be held by Napier in goal. Well, Ohio State looking for the series sweep over the Irish to remain unbeaten on the road so far this season and continue this stretch of tremendous road play away from Columbus over the last couple of years. 11-5-2 last season, but in the last 2 years combined, 24-7-5. And when you go on the road in college hockey these days against quality teams like Notre Dame, it is not easy to have that kind of record, Anson.
It isn't, and your upperclassmen have to set the tone for you. Sash Larocque has been tremendous for the Buckeyes. He's been a rock on the back end, very underrated, makes the right plays, never flashy, and up front, Mason Yobbs getting it done offensively. The upperclassmen set the tone, the underclassmen follow their lead.
Dello tried to get the pass through, intercepted, comes right back to Torey Dello, curls it around behind the goal. Now here's Colin Tyson with Jack Jenkins battling for the Irish, trying to work it in front. Jenkins got a man on his back. It's Sasha Larocque. Dello, one-timer partially blocked, and now here's Carson Meyer. He plays it ahead. Yops drops it back from Meyer, takes the hit from Cam Morrison. Couldn't get the shot away as a result. Intercepted in front by Hellickson. A draft choice of the New Jersey Devils. His pass all the way down the ice, and it will be icing on Notre Dame. Well, for 8 contenders, it's a Texas-size showdown. Another ticket to the championship is on the line as the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs hit the Texas Motor Speedway. That's tomorrow at 3 Eastern on NBCSN. NASCAR playoffs revving up. But Notre Dame would like to rev up what has been a dormant offense here the last couple of nights. And there's our first penalty of this second period. Had a couple in the first, but so far a clean second period until now.
Looks like interference there in Matt Hellickson defensive zone. You never want to take offensive zone penalties if you're the opposition. You're looking at the hit there by Dakota Joshua coming in. Looked a little bit high to me. But that's what Dakota Joshua brings to the table. He brings a little physicality to the table. Not quite sure that was a penalty, but referees tend to disagree. I'm never on the same page as the referees either, Steve, so.
Well, that was also the case during your playing career, right?
Some things never change.
You guys never agreed, never on the same page.
I was always all over the referees. But I was able to butter them up at the right times, though, in the third period.
Surprise, surprise. So Notre Dame 0 for 1 with the man advantage here tonight, getting another crack at the 5-on-4. Bobby Nardella, stick handling and looking for a lane. Now Andrew Peak. Malmquist. Now Peak. Dylan Malmquist has it hop over his stick, but Notre Dame holds the zone with Nardella. But keeping it on the perimeter here. Now Malmquist circles back. Peak swings it along for Nardella. Malmquist back for Peak. The one-timer blocked in front. That was Fadiev, the native of Ukraine, who slid down to block that shot. 4 players behind the goal. Malmquist back for Peak at the point. A minute of power play time left for the Irish. Kind of a slow developing power play here. Not really crisp puck movement. And not getting any shots away. This one rattles off the glass. Malmquist intercepts in front. Now Nardella looking for that lane. Shoots and it's blocked off the leg of Tommy Perrin.
I want to see a lot more shots there by the Irish. There's way too much passing of the puck, and they're a little bit too deliberate. I want to see the crisper passing, faster passing. But on that last save there, Tommy Napier was high up in the blue paint, making himself look huge, trying to cut down that angle.
Final 20 seconds of the power play. Brendan Kearney doing a good job on the kill for Ohio State deep in the Notre Dame end against 3 Notre Dame players here.
Yeah, that's a great effort there by Kearney. He's one of those players that can play on the 3rd or 4th lines, allows Coach Rawlik a lot of flexibility when he's trying to juggle his lineup.
Now Tyson carving his way through center. One last rush in the 5-on-4 for Notre Dame. From an angle, shot comes around to the point. Here's Dello as we're back to even strength. And coming out of the box, Dakota Joshua gets it in the Notre Dame end, trying to go around Dello as they work to the corner. Oh, and Dello just pins him to the wall. And we're going to get another penalty. So another penalty coming up here. And this one is going to be against Notre Dame.
This is the shot I was talking about right there. Bobby Nardell takes that shot, but look at see how high Tommy Napier is in the blue paint. Take a little angle from here. Great push, and then he comes way out, making himself look huge. The puck doesn't get to him. Tommy Perrin does a really good job blocking that puck, making sure the puck doesn't get to his goaltender, but Napier was really active in that blue paint. And then here's Dakota Joshua going hard in the puck, and he gets hit from behind by Torrey Dello. Torrey Dello gets called on the penalty, and it puts the Buckeyes back in the power play.
And Dello just tried to put him in the ditch, so he goes off, and they exchange penalties here, and now it's Ohio State with the man advantage. Here's Wyatt Egge over for Westland, working it down low for Meyer. Now Jobst. Mason Jobst off a stick, and Egge able to hold in. Now here's Carson Meyer trying to feed in front. Keel Morris goes down to his knees on the puck to make the save. Dakota Joshua backdoor almost stuffed it in for a 2-0 lead.
Looked like some of the Buckeyes had their sticks up thinking the puck was in the net, but Kale Morris seemed to keep that out. Carson Meyer, no hesitation to his game whatsoever. One quick step off the half wall, he sees Dakota Joshua. He knows Dakota Joshua's a left-handed shot. If he's a right-handed shot, it's a tougher play to make. But he's a left-handed shot, and I think it surprised Dakota Joshua that he was able to get that puck on his stick so quick because he just shanked it a little bit instead of taking his time and getting a nice shot off.
Ohio State with one power play goal here last night, looking for their first man advantage tally here this evening. Up 1-0, second period, midway through the hockey game. Westland feeds in front, partially blocked by Klurman, the defenseman for Notre Dame. Down low once more, Joshua tried to stuff it home again. Westland jabs at the puck, jars it loose. Carson Meyer, one-timer by Jobst, misses everything. Stuck on the back of the mesh.
Ooh.
And so a whistle stops play.
Didn't miss by much. You see Mason Jobst knows it too. He had the stick ready. Almost a similar play as the previous pass there. As the puck comes across from Gustav Westland to Dakota Joshua in front. He isn't able to finish. And then you see Mason Jobst there on that one-timer. He had room upstairs with Joshua providing the screen, but he wasn't able to hit the net.
And it was almost the same spot where he scored his power play goal last night.
He's able to find those quiet areas. He's not quite Ovechkin-like, but he's a smart hockey player, high hockey IQ, and if you're a good defensive player, you're going to find those quiet areas in the ice, and it's up to your teammates to find you at the puck. And so far these last two nights, the Buckeyes have looked and found Mason Jobst.
South of 1 minute left to go in the power play. Notre Dame breaking out to center. Here is Graham Slaggert, the freshman going around Miller off his stick and into the corner. Notre Dame does have 3 shorthanded goals on the season. That's tied for second in the nation. Now a half minute left to go. Peak tying it up in the corner. John Wiedelup trying to pry it free for the Buckeyes. And it's slapped down the ice.
See that battle there? I want to see Andrew Peak win that battle 100% of the time. He's the Irish captain. It's his team now. I want to see him elevate his game and really take charge on the ice.
Here's Gordy Meyer. Got loads of speed, trying to use it to his advantage. Klurman breaks it up, though, and the Irish once again with an easy clear. And this is going to kill off the remainder of the 5-on-4.
The Irish are back to full strength.
Full strength with 8.5 to go, second period. But here is Miller dropping for Fiddler. That one was redirected by Klurman. Now Egge sweeps it across for O'Connell. One-time pass. Shot comes through, blocked in front, but kept in by O'Connell. Now Egge feeds down low from a tough angle. Morris gloves the puck, smothers it, and a whistle stops play with just north of 8 minutes left to go in the second period. Mason Jobst, the game's only goal, and it's Ohio State, the 1-0 lead here in South Bend. 1-0 Ohio State here, second period in South Bend. Well, Notre Dame won 4 of 5 meetings between these two teams last season, but in their final matchup, it was the most thrilling and the biggest victory for the Irish as Cam Morrison scored in overtime in the Big Ten tournament title game to give the Irish the Big Ten tournament championship following their victory in the Big Ten regular season competition.
The ironic thing there too, Steve, is by Notre Dame knocking out Ohio State, that allowed Minnesota Duluth to get into the tournament. And Duluth was able to play against the Irish and win the national title against them as a result of that.
Now a 2-on-1 for the Irish. Off the face-off, here is Tyson, the one-timer. The sophomore Colin Tyson ties the game for Notre Dame.
That's a perfectly executed 2-on-1. As you're watching Cam Morrison come flying down the wall there, Wyatt Egge isn't able to take away the pass across, and there's Colin Tyson right through the 5-hole of Tommy Napier. Colin Tyson was a big-time scorer junior in the USHL at Dubuque. He scored 35 goals his last season there. It hasn't quite translated yet to the college hockey level, but he could definitely shoot the puck. The puck just springs off his stick, and you know that's making him a little bit more confidence now to start shooting the puck a little bit more going forward.
Now the native of Monroe, Michigan was the team's Rookie of the Year a season ago as a freshman. And finally Notre Dame breaks through after being shut out last night. And through the first half of the second period, they are on the board as Cale Morris is going to hold on to this one at the side of the cage.
On a 2-on-1, the coaching staff will always tell you, you're Wyatt Egge, either take the shooter or take the pass. You can't be stuck in the middle of no man's land. And that was a great passer by Cam Morrison, but I want to see Egge take that pass away, because that pass gets across. Your goalie's in no man's land. He's got no chance, especially if he elevates the puck. He didn't elevate the puck there. There's a little bit of a hole between Napier's pads, and Colin Tyson, with his great shooting ability, was able to find that 5-hole to tie this game up 1-1.
Has to be a relief for the Irish. They've been working hard, but just have not been validated. And finally, now have drawn level at 1 with 7.5 to go in the middle period here at the Compton Family Ice Arena.
And players are human too. It doesn't matter how hard you work, you want to see some results. I mean, it's only so much people can pat you in the back and say, hey, great game, you worked hard, but if you're not seeing the results, you're really not going to buy into it and really believe it.
Lifted all the way down the ice, and it's going to be Peak first to it for Notre Dame. Hellickson gets tripped up. Here's Jobst. He's looking to center. Pass broken up by Hellickson. And now Morrison leading the rush. He scored that overtime goal in the tournament last year to beat Ohio State in the championship game. Taken away, though, by Jobst. And now the Buckeyes bring it to center. 3-on-2, but Preston had it stolen and shot right back to the neutral zone. Tyson, the goal scorer. Fan on the entry pass. And a line change for Notre Dame now. Here's Freddie Girard with some daylight at center. And now Joe Wigworth with Cal Burke alongside. Flips it to Burke. He's in on goal. Napier makes the stop. Gave up the rebound for a second, but then dived on the puck to stop the play.
Now the game is opening up a little bit with both teams going up and down the ice, trying to get that go-ahead goal there in the second period. But take a look at Mason Jobst as a forward. He's wearing the C on his jersey. Tremendous effort in the back check there. The captain is the extension of the coaching staff, and they want to sort of mimic and parrot the message that the coaching staff tells the players in the ice. And it's hard to have the guys believe in what you're saying unless you're doing it yourself. And Mason Jobst is a big-time goal scorer. He shows he's able to do it at both ends of the rink with a really good effort in the back check, breaking up that Notre Dame chance.
Now here's Malmquist tied up, and the Buckeyes break free. Here's Wyatt Egge, the transfer from Alaska Anchorage, but leading Ohio State offsides. Now Mason Jobst started the scoring for Ohio State, getting the Buckeyes on the board first. Colin Tyson has answered here for the Irish. And 1-1 is the score with just over 6 minutes left to go in the second period. Jobst has the most points at Ohio State through his first 3 years since R.J. Umberger back in 2001 through the 03 season.
It's amazing. He's been a model of consistency since he came on campus in Columbus, Ohio.
As that one comes in front, poked aside by Napier, back to center. And now leading all players currently active in college hockey in career points. Part of that is a result of just staying power, coming back for his senior season, but he's been a prolific producer in Columbus as well. Here is Slager. Wraps it in around the boards. Fresh legs for the Irish with 5.5 to go on the clock. Gustav Westland tips it ahead for Ronnie Hine. Couldn't line up the shot. Nardella was tracking him all the way. Sasha Larocque, two-time captain. He played every game last year as a junior. And Notre Dame clearing the zone with 5 minutes now left to go. Both these teams do have potent offenses, but over the course of these last 2 nights, it's been a defensive battle, sound goaltending, nothing really spectacular from the netminders, but just a fundamental effort that has kept it a low-scoring affair each night. Now Jack Jenkins racing to the puck for Notre Dame, and a whistle. And it looks like we're going to get a penalty here. 4.5 left to go, second period. Notre Dame finally breaking their scoring drought. Colin Tyson gets them on the board, and we're tied at 1. Sasha Larocque in the penalty box for Ohio State, hitting from behind, so Notre Dame back on the power play.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that was a penalty. I mean, take a look right here. Pierce Crawford knows that Sasha Larocque is coming, and he turns his back to try to protect the puck. And at that point, Sasha Larocque already committed to make the hit. He can't slow down there. I wouldn't slow down there, because you're thinking the Irish player is going to catch the puck and go forward. You're not really anticipating him turning his back and try to shield the puck like that. So I know the game is changing now. They want to be really protective of guys, whether they're by the boards or not, from hitting them from behind. However, that's a tough position for Sasha Larocque to be in, to try to slow down and avoid that contact.
Now, neither team has a power play goal here tonight. Ohio State out shooting Notre Dame 29-21. And Cal Burke leads the Irish into the zone. Tried to get the pass back, broken up, and the Irish hold it in. Here's Dylan Malmquist. Nardella for Peak. Pitch and catch along the blue line. Nardella for Burke. Back to Nardella, the one-timer. Hit Peak, his own man. And then Nardella is there at the point once more. Andrew Peak shoved into the wall by Miller. Still finds Cal Burke. Peak again. Nardella inching closer. Shot just missed far post. Now Cal Burke was looking for Peak and slid it through untouched back to the neutral zone. Notre Dame back through center. Under a minute to go in the 5-on-4 here. Hellickson a shot tipped in front. Now Malmquist in the corner. Irish, not many quality chances in the power play last 2 times. Deflected off the glass. Brendan Kearney tries to backhand out. And the Irish have to clear the zone here. What is it about this Notre Dame power play the last couple of chances where they haven't been able to get anything cranked up, Anthony?
They're trying to be way too deliberate with their passing. Like, it should take a couple passes, move the puck around, get the box moving, get pucks on net with traffic in front of the net. They're making one too many passes, looking for that perfect shot, and they're not moving the puck quick enough, so that's allowing Ohio State to get into their formation.
Final seconds. Dello flings it across. Hellickson back to Tori Dello. The shot from Tyson. Stop is made by Napier. And we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. The penalty is over. And it is Wyatt Agee who comes away for Ohio State. Now Preston flips it into the Irish end. And Notre Dame without even a single shot on goal in that last power play a moment ago. As Napier is going to dive on top of that one with 2:08 left to go in the period.
You want to try to create more on the power play if you can. And there's traffic in front, but the Irish can do this on a consistent basis. You need to get pucks and people to net. They spent a lot of time moving the puck around the perimeter, the umbrella, top of the box. But a couple passes down, get the box moving down, move it back up to the top where you have some extra space, and then see if you get a shot off from the middle of the ice. And that way you've got your two forwards in front of the net, one screening and one looking for that loose change to try to put that past the goaltender.
Anson, do you get the sense that either team has any kind of momentum at this point in the hockey game?
No, it's a pretty evenly matched game, to be honest with you. I don't really see it going one way or the other. I think it comes from the fact that both programs have a lot of respect for one another, and they knew coming into this game that both teams were fairly disciplined hockey clubs, and they had to make sure they really were minding their efforts with the puck at each team's blue line, because the puck could be back in the net before you know it. It doesn't take that many goals to beat the other team. I mean, both teams are very capable of winning a 2-1 hockey game.
And off the face-off here, it's going to be Nardella. Works around Peters, but falls down. Now Ohio State looking to break through center, but intercepted by the Irish and Nardella, who skates it in once more, trying to get around O'Connell. Tied up, Matt Steeves backhands for Graham Slager. Now Nardella took aim at the far corner. That one is thrown in front. Nardella, the one-timer, and Napier saw that one into his glove. And a whistle halts the action with 90 seconds to go in the period.
That was a knuckler, too, from Bobby Nardella. No hesitation to his game. One of the top scoring defensemen in the country. Not afraid to get involved in the rush. He's got to do a little bit more of that to try to create some offense. Be that fourth man in on the rush, because the Buckeyes are so solid defending in their own zone. All five guys are connected. The forwards up top are in constant communication with their players down low. So the Irish defensemen, Bobby Nardella included, have to jump in from the blue line and make things difficult for the Buckeyes in their own defensive zone.
Notre Dame wins the draw. Here's Wegworth behind the cage. Tries to drop it in front. And here comes Freddie Girard for the Buckeyes. Lifts it in. Carson Meyer can't get to it ahead of Hellickson. Now Notre Dame a 3-on-2. For Cal Burke, his shot, a blocker save from Napier. Wegworth in the corner. Burke again. Tied for 7th in the nation in goals with 5 on the season. For Wegworth down low. South of 1 minute remaining middle period. And now Sasha Larocque has some space as he skates it to center. Gets to it ahead of Hellickson. Nobody there for Ohio State. It's Malmquist the other way for Notre Dame instead. Cal Burke nowhere to go, and he'll curl it around the boards and head for the bench. With half a minute to go now in this second period. Nardella comes charging behind his own goal. Jenkins ahead for Cam Morrison. The Colorado Avalanche draft pick off the end boards. And Ohio State looking for one more rush in the final 12 seconds of the period. Broken up by Notre Dame, and Peak feeds it back out to the neutral zone. Now no scoring in the first period. A goal for each team here in the second. And after 40 minutes in South Bend, in this battle of top 10 teams, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame tied at 1.
Good shot on net there by Cal Burke, using that speed going wide, but Napier blocks that puck down, and there's this defenseman coming back to help out, clear the puck out of harm's way.
Well, on the way in our intermission report, Anson will have a conversation with the Notre Dame goal scorer Colin Tyson, and then we'll send it back to the studio as Mike Florio and Chris Sims have a preview of the NFL weekend, and then second period highlights, stats, and analysis all on the way from here at Notre Dame. It was Mason Yops for Ohio State and Colin Tyson for the Fighting Irish. The goal scores in the second period, and with 20 minutes of regulation left to go here at the Compton Family Ice Arena, it's Ohio State and Notre Dame, 1-1 tie. It's a pair of top 10 teams on the first weekend of Big Ten play here in South Bend. And number 7 Ohio State tied with number 5 Notre Dame as we head to the third period. Through the first two, shots pretty close. Ohio State has been consistently out shooting Notre Dame so far in the game. No one with a power play goal so far this evening. A lot of block shots and just 5 penalties so far here tonight. Good crowd of just over 4,000 here for this second of a 2-game weekend series. The first game last night won by Ohio State. It was a 1-0 final. A power play goal early on in the first by Mason Jobst, the only scoring on the night. Jobst has the only Ohio State goal again here this evening. Colin Tyson, the sophomore for Notre Dame, answering, making this a 1-1 game headed towards the third. Well, some of the prominent themes so far tonight, some physical play by the Buckeyes and some solid defense from the Fighting Irish, Anson Carter.
The Buckeyes want to come in here and really set the tone and go that first punch. That's what they've done tonight. They've been physical, they've won the one-on-one battles. They've been making sure they're paying the price in the offensive zone, defensive zone. It doesn't really matter where you're on the ice. The Buckeyes, they see that gold helmet, they're going to try to get a lick on you. And the Irish defense has been a lot better. You've seen them box out the defensive zone. They're also trying to be physical, too. They want to pay extra attention to players like Carson Meyer. Want to get your body in them. Don't give them any second shot opportunities. And you want to come back and you want to collapse the defensive zone and not give the Buckeyes any chance to second and third shot opportunities.
Well, the 80th all-time meeting between these schools, and coming into the weekend, it was dead even. And with the Buckeyes' victory last night, they've now inched ahead. They've got 35 wins, 34 losses, and these teams have tied 10 times. And of course, Ohio State's win last night was also the 900th in program history as a varsity club for the Buckeyes as well. Well, Ohio State unbeaten this season when they scored the first goal. That's what they did back in the second period. Didn't take long for the Fighting Irish to answer, so what does the third period have in store? Away we go here at the Compton Family Ice Arena. Anson, what do you think is going to be the difference here as we head towards home?
Well, if I'm Ohio State, I'm staying hard on my forecheck. That's a staple of my game. Force this young defensive core for the Irish to turn pucks over and make mistakes in the defensive zone. If I'm the Irish, I keep funneling pucks and people to the net. Keep trying to get on the inside of the stingy Buckeye defense and see if you get a cheap, greasy goal to get the lead.
Ohio State so good defensively. Last year, they were third in the nation, allowing only 2 goals a game, and that was the best mark in program history. And maintaining that sort of robust defense here at the start of this season as well.
It's not just one player, it's a whole 5-man unit on the ice. And that's what makes their goalies so, it makes their jobs a lot easier because you've got guys in front of the net that are willing and capable of blocking out.
Tommy Perrin knocks it down the ice for the Buckeyes, and it is an icing call against Ohio State. Now, Steve Miller, the associate head coach for Ohio State, and Anson Carter, this is a guy who knows something about defense and about winning championships.
He does. I mean, the coaching staff there is really does a tremendous job there at really delegating and letting the assistant coaches run the special teams, power play, penalty kill, and Coach Rollick is very adamant at letting his coaching staff to take the lead on these things, and Coach Steve Miller does a really good job with his players.
Here's Andrew Peak, back for Notre Dame, sweeps it around the wall. And now the Irish with Jake Pavanka at center. Pavanka, the draft choice of the New York Islanders, gives it for Steves off the skates of an Ohio State player in front. That was Matt Miller. Now Freddie Girard. He'll play this one down on goal. Hellickson out to Graham Slaggert, and he tips it in. Speaking of associate head coaches, Graham Slaggert, the freshman for Notre Dame, coached by his father, who's an associate head coach for Notre Dame. Now we saw Jake Pavanka just a moment ago for the Irish. His dad, Michael Pavanka, played over 800 games for the Washington Capitals, and Anson, he's a guy you know pretty well.
Yeah, I played with Pivo, we called him, when I was at the Capitals. My first year, he was a #1 centerman, played with Peter Bondra on the top line. I played a couple games with those guys before I got traded to the Boston Bruins. A little cup of coffee playing with the big guys. And he was a solid player, smart 200-foot hockey player that was very effective at setting the table for Peter Bondra to score goals.
Chance for the Buckeyes here. Preston just wide. Back at the point now for Gordy Meyer. One-timer from Miller. That was deflected off the stick of Joe Wegworth. Quinn Preston. Down for Dakota Joshua. Wedged to the wall by Nate Klerman. John Wiedela trying to help out. Now Joshua trying to circle around the goal. Wegworth taking it away and taking the contact from Joshua. Klerman, the freshman, absorbs the contact as well. And now finally daylight for Malmquist. Dylan Malmquist, long shot, gloved by Napier, and he decides to just hang on here. 2.5 minutes into our third period. Now Tommy Napier getting the start tonight. Interesting goaltender choice by Buckeye head coach Steve Rohlik, as senior Sean Romeo pitched a shutout last night, but I guess parting is such sweet sorrow for Sean Romeo as he does not come back here tonight. Despite getting the shutout, Napier is the starting goaltender, and that's been Rohlik's mantra throughout the season. He's been splitting his goaltenders every weekend.
Well, we need to have two solid goaltenders. You never know with injuries what could happen as the season goes along, so I think Coach Rohlik wants to make sure he's got two solid netminders he could turn to in case someone goes down. His team is very comfortable playing in front of both these netminders.
We talked with head coach Steve Rohlik just before the game, and he said there was no question as to whether Romeo might come back after getting the shutout. He said, no way. Tommy Napier is a guy I'm very comfortable with. I want to continue giving them each one game every weekend. It's not a strategy you often see. Sometimes coaches early in the season will give the goaltenders a chance to win the starting job, but the Buckeyes are splitting it down the middle each and every weekend.
Yeah, and goalies can be a little bit temperamental too, as you're seeing Napier protect his blue paint. I like to see goalies get that stick up, send a message to the Notre Dame forwards that you can't come in here without paying the price, but you want to make sure you have to know your goaltenders. You can't go back and forth if you got a goaltender that's really soft mentally. Both these players are very strong mentally. You know, they both want to have the blue paint themselves. However, you need to have competition. You have competition in forwards, D, so it shouldn't make any difference if your goaltender has a little competition as well.
Tommy Napier's first time in a college hockey game was 1 year ago tomorrow against Notre Dame. Came in relief of Romeo and made a couple of saves in the third period. Now here he is starting the second of this two-game series in South Bend, and almost a giveaway right at the side of his net. He has to cover up here. A defensive lapse. Freddie Girard just kind of smiling about it, saying, hey, thanks for bailing me out, big guy.
Yeah, that's a nervous chuckle right there. It's not that he's out there loose and having fun. He knows his goaltender. He's looking up at the clock, is on his toes and paying attention. That could have easily been a nightmare as you're taking a look at Joe Wegworth on the doorstep. And as we saw there, Freddie Girard had a little chuckle to himself. I'm sure he's not chuckling on the bench with the coaching staff being in his ear.
Now you saw Napier kind of looking away because he felt Girard had the puck, nobody was on him, and quickly things turned. Now here's Nate Klerman. Ahead to Colin Tyson as the only goal for Notre Dame this weekend. Off the side of the net, now Spencer Stastny flips it over for Nate Klerman. And Stastny can't get to it in time to hold the zone. Stastny, the draft choice of the Nashville Predators. Now for Cam Morrison. He gets knocked down by Miller. And we're now 4 minutes deep here in the third.
Cam Morrison kind of went slowly to the bench after that hit there by Miller in the neutral zone. We'll keep an eye on if he makes a return later in this period.
Well, Cam Morrison, such a big part of this Notre Dame offense. Had that game-winning goal in overtime of the Big Ten Tournament Championship game to beat Ohio State last year. Here's Gordy Meyer, tipped in. But Hellickson is there for Notre Dame. Andrew Peak, a pass ahead for Steves. Broken up, however. And here's Eugene Fadia. native of Kiev, Ukraine. Pass gets by Fiddler. Shut down the ice by the Irish. And it's icing on Notre Dame. Let's go back to the collision with Matt Miller and Cam Morrison.
Smart read there by Matt Miller, stepping up the neutral zone. You see his head up the whole way, not playing the puck. It's exactly what you want your defenseman to do. Head up, chest-to-chest contact, and there's Cam Morrison. Not really expecting the defenseman to step in the neutral zone. Tremendous read there by Miller, catching Morrison off guard and putting him on his backside with a great neutral zone hit.
Now the Ohio native made the Big Ten All-Tournament team a year ago. And now here's Hellickson firing it down off the inboards for Notre Dame. Coming in front, Dakota Joshua has it for the Buckeyes. Turns and finds Ryan O'Connell. O'Connell, though, has it taken away by Nardella. Bouncing puck now in front. Morris reaching out for it, and Hellickson comes to the rescue. That one slips through. Jenkins going to get to it for Notre Dame. Shot right on, and Napier makes the stop. Backhanded ahead in front of Preston. Joshua stops it. Now Quinn Preston tries to backhand for Wiedela. Intercepted by Jack Jenkins. Turns it back into the zone. Now Tyson with speed tries to feed in front off a skate. Tori Dello from an angle. And it's held by Napier, and we get a whistle. Pace of the play. Gaining momentum here in this third period, but still tied at 1 here in South Bend. Notre Dame and Ohio State were the top 2 teams in the Big Ten Conference last year, and at the beginning of this season, Ohio State ranked number 1 for the first time in over a decade, with Notre Dame also in the top 3. Anson, what do you think about how the teams are slotted here as we begin conference play this weekend?
This is about what I expected. Now you're seeing where the rosters are, where the teams are, and I talked at the top of the show about this being a tough 3-week stretch with Duluth coming in last week and Ohio State this week, and then Michigan next weekend. Michigan lost last night 5-2, but Coach Pearson has a really strong Michigan team there in Ann Arbor. It'll be another tough weekend for this Irish team next weekend coming up.
Dello, a shot off the draw on the pad save made by Tommy Napier. Now here's Wegworth, pinned to the wall. Tommy Parent feathers it along. Carson Meyer takes the hit and plays it out to center. Wegworth and Yops do battle. Here is Joe Wegworth. Shot off the skate of Sasha Larocque. Now this is Notre Dame's second season in the Big Ten Conference. They got off to about as good a start as you could possibly imagine last year. They swept all of their opponents their first time through as part of a 16-game winning streak last year. It was a tremendous run for the Fighting Irish. They became the first team to ever sweep all of their Big Ten opponents in their first series together.
And there's a lot of excitement coming to the Big Ten after making that transition from Hockey East. They didn't know what to expect. Every single game was a new experience for the players, having not played in some of these buildings before, and they really set the tone for what the Irish were expecting this season.
Here is Ronnie Hine, stays on side, in front, and a save made by Morris as Colin Peters was streaking in. Now Cale Morris has been solid once again here tonight, just like he was last night, even though the Irish lost 1-0 in the series opener. Notre Dame out shooting Ohio State now 34-31. First time in this hockey game they've taken the lead in that department.
Let's go back to that last Buckeye chance. You're seeing Colin Peters streaking hard to the net. He isn't able to get that pass on a stick. Ronnie Hine throws it across, but it goes off of his heel a little bit too hard. On that play there, you're going to give a little bit with that puck and make it a little bit softer so the puck dies in your skate to give yourself a chance to make that shot. You're seeing Colin Peters a little bit too strong on that right skate, and the puck was able to ricochet off it, and he wasn't able to control it to get a decent shot against Notre Dame goaltender Cale Morris.
A lot more offense here tonight than what we saw last night. Each team with 23 shots on goal last evening. 34-31 is the margin right now in favor of Notre Dame. 12.5 left to play in regulation of a 1-1 hockey game. No scoring in the first period, both goals coming in the second frame. Here's Hellickson, far side, pass too far for his intended man, Andrew Peak, and that one's up into the Irish bench.
You know what, Steve? My phone's been blowing up the last few seconds. Friends of Spartan Hockey and Michigan State and East Lansing couldn't believe I've been giving the Michigan Wolverines a lot of props a few minutes ago, talking about how great they've been playing, but it's true. That Michigan series against Notre Dame next weekend is going to be a heck of a series. Another tough challenge for this Irish team.
I thought you were going to say your phone was blowing up because it's Saturday night and Anson Carter has big plans later this evening.
that Anson Carter's long been retired. He doesn't exist anymore.
Well, good to know that the buddies are tuned in, though.
Yeah, a lot of people watch college hockey, which is great. I mean, the game is growing at the National Hockey League level. It's growing here at college hockey level. You're seeing Arizona State, Omaha having a team. You're seeing a lot of programs now come to the forefront with D1 hockey, Quinnipiac being solid. I mean, you can't say enough about what's happening with the growth of college hockey.
And Notre Dame taking a timeout here. Now, speaking of the NHL, there are 13 NHL draft picks between these two teams combined. And with college hockey these days, you come out to a game or you watch on TV, Anson, and you get to see guys who maybe in just 1 year or a few months' time are going to be at the next level.
You do, and even Notre Dame fans saw Rust. You know, he's won a couple of championships with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was a solid performer here for the Irish team. You're seeing guys come in all the time, playing for the opposition even. So I'm looking forward to seeing Quinn Hughes playing for the Michigan Wolverines, first-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks, a defensive anchor for the Wolverines defensive core. You saw Charlie McAvoy come through here a couple years ago when Notre Dame was still in Hockey East. It's been great.
Now, Carson Meyer, one of those guys that could be playing in the NHL. He's a sixth-round draft choice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and really a tremendous story. Growing up in Columbus, playing for the Ohio Blue Jackets AAA program, won a title with them, and really played hockey early on because the Blue Jackets became an expansion team as part of the NHL when he was 3 years old. That got him into the game, played for those Blue Jackets midget programs growing up, originally went to Miami University, where he then transferred at the end of last season to Ohio State. Now he's back in Columbus playing for the Buckeyes, and he called it a dream come true to also be drafted by the hometown Blue Jackets.
Yeah, it's amazing. Being drafted by Blue Jackets, playing in Columbus with the Buckeyes. It couldn't get any better for Carson Meyer. And even the Blue Jackets have an opportunity to watch some homegrown talent playing right in their backyard.
He has also dealt with his fair share of adversity. Last year was really a down year for him in terms of production. Didn't know what was going on, was dealing with fatigue. Eventually they found out he had a 25-inch tapeworm. So they were relieved to find out what it was. He wound up transferring after 2 years at Miami University, and things are back to normal here this year at Ohio State.
Say that one more time, Steve. A 25-inch tapeworm?
Yeah, that's 2 feet of tapeworm in case you're trying to work out the numbers.
That's unbelievable. I mean, wow.
Yeah, he was really frustrated because he just kept going to the training staff, the doctor saying, I'm tired, I don't know what it is. They couldn't figure it out, and it took a while to get that diagnosis.
I wouldn't want to be in the room when that thing came out.
Yeah, where does that go? What do you do?
Unbelievable. Well, he's back, and he's playing well, and he's a big part of this Buckeye team.
Yeah, tied for the team lead in both goals and points. There is Wyatt Agee for the Buckeyes in his own end. Lifts it off the glass out to center. Coming up on 11 minutes left to go in regulation. Agee again, this time carrying in. And he brought it back out over the blue line, so it's offsides.
Wyatt Agee's never afraid to transport the puck up the blue line. I mean, Gordy Meyer is known for doing it constantly, but Wyatt Agee has that skating ability, that offensive prowess, that he's not afraid to jump up. He's given the green light by Coach Rawlik to, he finds an opportunity to try to create some offense and push that Irish defensive core back. He'll do it.
Head coach Steve Rawlik was telling us before the game in a conversation that sometimes he gets a little nervous about us when his D-men jump into the play. Not always sure it's the right decision all the time.
When it leads to a goal, it is.
Sometimes he has to look away when it doesn't.
And forwards like it. I loved when I had offensive defensemen that jumped up into the rush, because it gave me a fourth option to look at when I'm trying to create some offense. And I wanted that puck. If you're going to transfer the puck, and if I have to stop the far blue line, I didn't like that. But if I entered the offensive zone and you're coming with me, it was great.
Here's Spencer Stastny. Had the puck taken off his stick. Ronnie Hine knocked it up into the Notre Dame bench. So just about midway through our final period. And Anson, hard to get a handle on the way this one might break, judging on what we've seen in the first 2.5 periods.
It really could go either way. It's going to take a lucky bounce, or it might take special teams. Because both teams really isn't giving up anything. They're playing fairly disciplined in the neutral zone. You're not really seeing too many grade A scoring opportunities both ways.
It's been over 3 minutes since we've even had a shot on goal.
There's one. But I wouldn't really consider that a shot on goal.
More like a pop fly to shallow center field. Gloved easily by Cale Morris. Now the junior from Colorado. Mike Richter Award winner last year, top goaltender in the nation, but started the season splitting the duties, wasn't even the regular starter, won the job about a month into the season and wound up at the end of the year as the top goalie in the game. Gordy Meyer and a shot partially blocked. Now Wiedela pokes it free. Dakota Joshua back to the point. Meyer for Miller, uses the end boards. And now Morrison takes it for Notre Dame, and it's a 2-on-2 the other direction. Cam Morrison tries to use the wall, but Meyer cleverly intercepts. Morrison, though, gets it back. Backhands in front, no one there. Here's Dakota Joshua. Ahead for Wiedela, he wasn't looking. And a line change for Notre Dame. Miguel Finley tips it in. Morris keeps it moving. Comes in front, comes free, and Carson Meyer had a partially open net to shoot at as Morris wasn't fully back in the cage.
Wow, Miguel Morris, a little giveaway behind the net. He almost paid for it. Buckeyes weren't able to execute on that turnover in the offensive zone.
Buckeyes bringing it back once again. Miguel Fiddler taken into the wall. Mason Yopst worked over by Tori Dello. Here's Nardella. Got some open real estate. Now Cal Burke slams it through untouched. Nardella once again circling back. Has a point in all but 2 games this year for the Irish. Bobby Nardella. Centers in front, off the stick of Malmquist, just wide. Knocked down, and here's Colin Peters. Peters ahead to Hine. And it's going to be offsides as Westland couldn't keep his skate on the line. Down to the final 8.5 in regulation. All of the scoring coming back in the second period. We are tied at 1 here in South Bend.
It's a 1-1 hockey game. It's so tight, you're going to need your defenseman to jump up in the rush. That's exactly what Bobby Nardella does. He's showing you why he's one of the top offensive defensemen in the country. Drives the puck in wide, gets it past Tommy Perrin. The puck gets up to Dylan Malmquist, and he isn't able to get enough wood on this. Sash LaRock is right there, past his skate, and then Malmquist just kind of shanks that one short side just past the near post. Tommy Napier is able to keep that one out of the net.
And now with 8.5 minutes left to go, here's Cam Burke in his first game as a Notre Dame Fighting Irish player, the younger brother of Cal Burke. Has only seen a little ice time so far this evening in his debut. As head coach Jeff Jackson tries to shake things up. Now Nate Clerman back for the puck. Another freshman for Notre Dame. One of 3 Colorado Avalanche draft choices on this squad. And now Notre Dame at center. Pierce Crawford turns and tries to slam it in. And we drop under 8 minutes now left to go. Gordy Meyer backhands through to the Notre Dame blue line. Hellickson plays it back into the Buckeye end. And now finally Gustav Westland, a native of Stockholm, tries to flip it through. One-timer from Meyer. Just missed short side. Now off the glass and down the ice. And this will be an icing call against the Fighting Irish. Well, Paul Cooley is the associate head coach for Notre Dame, but he is also Ohio State's all-time leading scorer. as he leads them in both goals and points. Also the first Ohio State player to ever have his number retired in Columbus. And he has a family connection to this game, as his nephew Austin Pooley is on the current Ohio State roster and sitting on the bench right now.
When I saw Austin's dad, Coach Pooley's twin brother, up in the stands yesterday, I had to double take for a second. I was wondering, hey, how's Coach Pooley on the bench and up here in the stands at the same time?
Has so many family connections as you cross programs and through the generations. Austin Pooley from Dublin, Ohio, a suburb of Columbus, now a sophomore. Saw more ice time last night than he has so far here this evening.
A lot of pressure. That Pooley name is a big thing there at Ohio State. So if you really have that Pooley name in the back of your jersey, it's high expectations for the fans of Buckeye hockey there in Columbus, Ohio.
What's he drawing on that erase board at this point in the game? What do you think, Anson?
Dinner plans.
That one comes in on Morris. He poked it free, came loose, and the Irish clear the zone. Well, he may have to delay those plans if we go to overtime. We are still tied at 1. No goals here in the third, and 7 minutes left to go. Big hit far side. Big hit near side. Haven't seen as much physical play here in the third period as we saw earlier, but a couple of big bodies banging just a moment ago. Now Wiedela motoring in, flips it wide. Colin Tyson takes a hit from Dakota Joshua. And now here's Cam Morrison. Morrison along the wall, battling with Matt Miller. Cal Burke trying to jar it free. 4 players converging. Finally comes loose. Now Mason Yops, the goal scorer for Ohio State, both last night and tonight, as the only goals on the weekend here for the Buckeyes. Kept in by Notre Dame. Here's Wegworth, the shot! Joe Wegworth gives Notre Dame their first lead of the weekend.
What a shot there by Joe Wegworth. Tommy Napier does everything he can, top the blue paint, but Joe Wegworth shoots that puck under his arm. But it all starts the turnover. Matt Miller throws a pizza up the ice. He has a bomb for a shot. He doesn't get enough on this pass up the ice. You can't throw a pizza through the middle of the ice like that and turn the puck over. Joe Wegworth intercepts it, knocks it down, and makes the Buckeyes pay by wiring a shot past Tommy Napier for 2-1 lead.
Now the senior from Brewster, New York, now ties Cal Burke for the team lead in goals this season. 4th round draft choice of the Florida Panthers, and Notre Dame leading for the first time at 2-1. Now here comes Malmquist looking for another, and a save made by Napier with under 6 minutes now left to go. And the Buckeyes forced to put some pressure on now for really the first time. LaRock. The shot partially blocked. Now here's Nardella off the wall and out. Carson Meyer. Cross ice to an open Meyer. His shot hit the side of the post, it looked like.
Off the
comes high in the air.
Off the elbow.
Wow.
That was a really good shot there.
Deflected in front, and that was Freddie Girard who got it in on Morris, who made the pad save.
It's right on my sight line, and there wasn't much room there. Freddie Girard was a tremendous effort there, trying to go top corner off the elbow where the post connect the top of the net.
And he was left wide open as well. All right, down to 5 minutes left to go, and this was the goal that gave Notre Dame the lead a moment ago.
There's Matt Miller with, like I call it, the pizza. That's a big-time turnover. Coaches always say to you, if you go in the middle, that puck has to go hard. I prefer him to go up the wall with that pass, so if it does get turned over, there isn't really a grade A scoring opportunity. He elects to go up the middle, doesn't get it out of the zone. Joe Wegworth knocks it down, and he's got plenty of room to walk in and rip that one home.
Joe Wegworth played his 100th career game for Notre Dame just last weekend against Minnesota Duluth. Off to a fine start here in his senior season. Ohio State out shooting the Fighting Irish, but it's Notre Dame leading 2-1 here with just inside of 5 minutes now left to go.
It's come down to opportunity for Joe Wegworth too. He's really elevated his game this year, and I think it's because you see players leaving, and now as you move up in class as being a senior, you're getting more opportunities to take plays and make plays in the offensive zone beyond the first power play unit. Get offensive zone starts in the faceoffs, and you got to give him a lot of credit. He's taking advantage of it so far this season.
Miller a blast right off the faceoff. Colin Peters back at center. Shovels it in. Now Stasny for Morrison. Mandela will start from behind his own net once again. Here's Gordy Meyer going around Morrison. Dello intercepts though for the Irish. Corey Dello looking to go rink wide, intercepted though by Matt Miller. Drops it back for Peters, knocked down by Morris, gave up the rebound, but then recovers to glove it for a whistle with 4:21 remaining. Off the turnover from Ohio State, Joe Wegworth gives Notre Dame their first lead at 2-1 here late in the third period. College hockey returns to NBCSN on Friday, November 30th as number 5 Notre Dame plays host to RPI right here at the Compton Family Ice Arena. Tonight, the Fighting Irish looking for a series split with Ohio State in their first Big Ten action of the season. Lost 1-0 last night, fell behind 1-0 tonight, but they've scored 2 unanswered and now have the 1-goal lead with just over 4 minutes to play. So for the first time, the Buckeyes pressed into offensive duty. What is the formula for Ohio State here now to respond?
Start on faceoffs. That's the key. We're taking a look right here on David Tarnowski. You know, before I get back my faceoffs point, there's Steve. I saw him last night in the game. He sits in the upper deck. He's got season tickets for the last 3 years, and he has his megaphone. He just yells out encouragement for the team, and it loves to see the passion and the excitement from fans here in South Bend. But to my point I was making earlier, you've got to win faceoffs. This is crunch time in the hockey game. Little things matter. Little things make a difference in the hockey game, and defensive zone and offensive zone faceoffs make a big deal with less than 4 minutes to go in this game.
This Ohio State team trying to build on what was a terrific season a year ago, their first Frozen Four appearance in 2 decades, a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. Undefeated on the road so far this year, but perhaps staring at their first defeat if they can't recover from this 2-1 deficit with just over 4 minutes left.
Look at the shots on net, 37-38. There's a lot of shots directed towards the net, but I didn't get the sense that there's a lot of grade A scoring opportunities. A lot of volume, but it wasn't the quality of shots that you like to see when you see 38 and 37 shots respectively on net from both teams.
Here's Dylan Malmquist. Malmquist plays it in, backhands, and surrenders possession of the puck. Sasha Larocque. And now Cal Burke just whacks it out of the zone, and Gordy Meyer retreats for Ohio State. Larocque fanning on the entry attempt. Nardella will nudge it along. Too far for Stasny. Now Carson Meyer back to the point. Intercepted though by Graham Slaggert, and he plays it out to center. 3 minutes left to go. At what point are you thinking about pulling the goaltender if you're Ohio State?
I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and make sure we could establish some zone time offensively. And you take a look at last night, 23 shots on net versus 37 today. So clearly they made some adjustments to getting more pucks and people to the net, and you have to continue to do that now as there's an offensive zone face-off. You got to bear down and win this draw and try to get the puck back to your point man and try to get it directed towards Tommy Napier.
Shots were dead even between these two teams last night, dead even right now with under 3 left to play in regulation. Matt Steves gets spun around. Now here's Nate Clermont in the corner. Almost a giveaway in front. Now Matt Miller, a long shot. That one hit a couple of bodies in front of Cale Morris. And then Steves avoids the heavy contact and chops it down the ice. Napier, a pass all the way out to Gustav Westland, drops it between the legs. Peters a shot high off the glass. Now Gordy Meyer at the point for Colin Peters. Back to Miller, loads, fires. Meyer along the half wall, lost possession. And Ohio State can't hold it in. Notre Dame at center with Pavanka. He'll just chip it in and head to the bench with 2 minutes left to go.
The Irish got away with a trip there. I thought for sure the Buckeyes were going on a power play.
Keeping an eye on Tommy Napier now in goal for Ohio State. When might they get that extra skater on to try and level this game? Yopes gets turned around. Morrison working hard for Notre Dame, but Ohio State comes away. Yopes flips it down the ice, and there goes Napier to the bench. The net is empty for Ohio State. The extra attacker is on with 1:36 to go. Long shot from O'Connell, blocked in front. Now Wiedela in the corner for Yopes down low. Egge in front, blocked by a body. Dakota Joshua falls on top of goaltender Cale Morris. They both try to slowly get back up. And then a trip out at center ice, no call. Here's Wyatt Egge again, skating it in and dumping it down into the corner. Approaching the final minute in regulation. Notre Dame leading 2-1, looking for a split in the weekend series. Now Dakota Joshua trying to backhand in front. Ohio State keeping the pressure on. Under a minute now left to go. Yopes back to the point. Wyatt Egge off a stick and into the nets with 50 seconds on the clock.
Wow. Looks like referees Brian Aaron and Colin Confros are just letting the team just play right now. Putting the whistles away, let the teams decide the final results. And here's what I thought was a penalty, potentially, right there. You see Gordy Meyer gets taken down from behind by Jake Pavanka. Referees obviously didn't share the same belief that I did that was a penalty, and they kept the whistles in their pocket. Like I said earlier, they're letting both teams play and decide on the ice.
Well, no scoring in the first period of play, but things opened up in the second. First of all, it was Mason Yopes scoring for the second time this weekend, giving the Buckeyes a 1-0 lead.
Most dangerous man on both teams got sick hands scoring that goal in tight.
And then Colin Tyson, the sophomore from Michigan, answering for the Irish.
He's got a great release there. Tommy Napier comes across. You want to see him elevate that puck, but he shoots the puck so well, he's able to go 5-hole.
So it was 1-1 until late in the third when Joe Wegward off the turnover from Ohio State.
Just took advantage of that turnover, and any goal scoring forwards, your eyes get as big as a saucer if you get that puck in that grade A scoring opportunity with no traffic in front, and Joe Wegworth bears down and makes them pay.
And now less than a minute left to go. We turn the clocks back later tonight, but Ohio State would like to turn the clocks back a little bit more here right now and add a little more time because they are running out.
Let's go back to this little drop pass here by Gustav Westland back to Colin Peters. Nifty little play there by the Swedish forward. Shows his little skill in his hands. He had a nice assist last night. Mason Yopes' goal connected with Wyatt Egge on that power play goal, and he shows his offensive ability right there. A little dangling, a little pass between the legs, showing a little offensive flair.
So they'll set up for another face-off here. Jenkins against Joshua, and the Irish clear it down the ice, just missing the empty net. And so it's icing against Notre Dame with 44 seconds to go.
Got to be careful. I know the natural tendency, you see that open net, is to try to go for it. It's human nature. However, if you miss that net, you're back here at square one, back in your own zone, you have to fight another day, defensive zone draw.
Hellickson lifts it off the glass and down the ice. It's going to be Gordy Meyer back for Ohio State. Now Calbert behind the empty net, trying to find Malmquist with half a minute now left to go. The Buckeyes looking for the tying goal to perhaps send this one to overtime. They gain the zone. Yapped in the corner against Hellickson. Now Dakota Joshua pinned to the wall behind the Notre Dame goal. 15 seconds remaining. Westland for Yost, looking for a lane. Shot blocked by Hellickson. He's going to clear it off the boards, but not out. Now Westland in the final seconds, side of the net, looking to center, and that's going to do it. It's a come-from-behind win for Notre Dame. 2-1 the final here at the Compton Family Ice Arena as Notre Dame ends a 3-game losing streak and wins their first Big Ten action of the season. So, in this first weekend of conference play, Ohio State and Notre Dame emerge with the split. The Buckeyes, a 1-0 winner last night. Notre Dame 2-1 the victory here tonight. And Ohio State suffering their first road loss of the season. So once again, the final score, Notre Dame over Ohio State 2-1. Again, the Irish beat the Buckeyes 2-1 the final. And for Anson Carter, I'm Steve Schlanger. Good night from South Bend.